Hello, nerds! I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year! You'll notice that I didn't meet my deadline for the Wreck-It Ralph retrospective, and that's because December is an absolute bitch in the world of retail, and days off are where I try to get caught up on everything because I still live with morning people, and running a vacuum after 9 p.m. is a no-no. But hey, 2022 is over now, and considering all the crap that happened in that year, I am not sad to see it go. Easily the worst 2020 sequel overall, with bright spots that were too few and far between. So now we're looking at 2023, and you're probably asking what I got planned for it. Good question. I pinned a comment on a Q&A follow-up to my Everything Wrong With review of Nostalgia Critic's video of the Sonic OVA, saying I already had what videos I want to try and do for 2023 planned out, and I don't take requests. Let me explain the latter before I get to the former, because it'll kind of help lay out what goes into my decision to review something and producing that video. Now, I don't blame you if you don't know this, because I don't really like bringing it up, but I already have a full-time regular job at this one store. You might have heard of it. It's called Walmart. It's a job that takes 10 hours out of my day for 5 days straight, and combined with other obligations, it doesn't leave me a lot of time left over for stuff I want to work on. And when you don't have a lot of time left over for stuff you want to work on, you're going to be picking your video targets very carefully to make the most of that time. By extension, this is why every time I do a main video now, I put a timeline of production at the start as well as the usual fair use and age disclaimers. Sure, when I picked up on making videos last year, I was getting faster at editing them so I could put more out. But what you're seeing is the work of one person. My longest video, and probably my favorite one of 2022, was the Osmosis Jones response, which still took 2.5 months of work on and off to make it the quality it is, and just like the Everything Wrong With review of the Sonic OVA review, I was working on it on top of working full-time and taking exams and writing papers for university. So if I come across as pointed and dismissive of any requests that someone thinks would be a good investment of my time, this is why. I'm really not trying to be a bitch. This is also why I don't do reviews of whatever hot new thing is out, because by the time I get to that video, it's already old news and everyone's moved on. Now that you guys know all this, these are going to be the videos that I'm going to try and make for 2023. Notice they don't have release dates or estimated release dates because, again, other obligations, and I'm going to try and find an actual geology job and get out of retail hell before my last brain cells finally keel over. Let's start with getting back into things with responding to Nostalgia Critic's Rango review. A video I already could tell was going to be bad based on the thumbnail alone, and the poor bastards who checked it out have confirmed it's going to be a worthy entry in the Doug Walker Doesn't Understand collection. And just preemptively, don't even start complaining about all the Doug videos and go on about them being all I talk about. Just like with the Dark Age of SpongeBob and Teen Titans Go, you can't be mad at me or other commentators for talking about Doug Walker's failures as much as we do when you compare it to how much content and crap he puts out. It seems just a bit hypocritical, and plus, this topic is pretty fascinating. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. It's morbid, it's a complete disaster, you know it doesn't end very well, and you try to look away, but damn if you just can't resist your curiosity. The next video is going to be a kind of two-parter, where I talk about Sonic 2 in a long overdue review as a movie by itself, and then follow it up with talking about Doug's out-of-character review of the movie. Something I teased back in that Q&A video. A video I've had on the back burner for years now is a Sonic Underground retrospective, where I talk about this weird entry in the collection of Sonic cartoons and why I find it to be a fun mess. Would I follow it up with a How to Fix or Magma remix video? I don't know, but I can say that I did start on a retelling medium reboot of it because we all know it'll never see a proper conclusion. For testing the waters on if people want to see more reviews of the following series, I'm going to talk about Osmosis Jones again, mostly detached from the Nostalgia Critic stuff, specifically about the 2022 TV show. A Q&A for that response to Nostalgia Critic's review might happen too, but don't hold your breath. I may have left the Wreck-It Ralph video on the 2022 cutting room floor, but I'll try it again this year because I love this movie and I have a lot to say about it. And maybe the next year I'll extensively talk about the sequel and how it completely fucks everything up. Seriously, there is a lot of shit in Ralph Breaks the Internet. If I do holiday specials, I'm giving the Coraline Halloween review another go at production since it also got left on the cutting room floor, and Christmas I'll talk about if the Jim Carrey Grinch movie still holds up. I'm going to continue streaming on Twitch, other stuff pending, with a game on Tuesday nights and a drawing stream on Wednesday nights, at least as of time of writing, because those are my days off work. This, of course, does not factor in things like preparing dinner and household obligations. I mentioned it in the August 22 update, but something I still want to do is a live reading of a couple papers that I wrote while I was in college that I'm really proud of. These being on a couple geologic topics I find fascinating or tangentially related to the course, and if you guys like it well enough, I might go down the route of overanalyzing geology in fiction. Probably starting with Angel Island and the volcanic systems responsible for Lava Reef and Red Mountain. Look, I might as well put my geology and geophysics degree to use while doing the job search, alright? For August specifically, don't expect anything to come out that month because I'll be gearing up for my first time running a booth at Fort Collins Comic-Con on the 26th and 27th. If any of you guys are in northern Colorado around that time, feel free to come by. Gonna be selling art prints and other kinds of neat stuff. Of all these video ideas, I'm expecting only 4 maximum to get done, and that's not counting any ideas that come up in the wake of this roadmap. In fact, I actually started a script and started gathering assets for a video that'll probably come out in February while producing this very video. Look, I wouldn't mind doing videos or art full-time if the geology stuff doesn't pan out, but it's not going to just magically happen because I would need money to do that, and I'm still working on launching a Patreon. Why I haven't already is because I have other obligations. I have one parent that doesn't see creative jobs as real jobs or financially stable at all, and that's not even getting into my anxiety issues that have been ramping up considerably in the past 4 years. Possibly 5, since we're going into 2023. 2022 has not been a good year for me, and I don't have much faith in 2023, even if I'm trying to be more proactive and productive where I want to be. Anything worth looking forward to was few and far between, and sometimes was immediately followed by something that added to the pile and effectively canceled out the serotonin event. If you're wondering why I barely talk in the Discord servers anymore, this is why. Quick side note, the one that I link to in my video description boxes is my own. It's a public server, but you do need to tell me and the mods a little about yourself so we can grant you the right permissions. Look, this section isn't very organized, but I'm just tired. I've had it with just getting by and continuing to wall myself off from people because my day job is a black hole of time and energy. Living at home is cost-effective for me, but I miss the privacy from the house that I had in my university town. And I did not struggle through 8 years of college trying to learn about geology while working to pay bills just to let all that information go to waste, which is probably the most upsetting thing for me because I like learning, I like doing research, I like figuring out how stuff works, and that applies to both science and animation. I want to know all the ins and outs of what makes this giant rock flying through space tick and why I absolutely adore or loathe any given piece of media. To put it as bluntly as I can, I want out of this extended high school senior period with the adult duties attached. Am I going to succeed at it? I don't know, but unless I get hit with another massive crippling anxiety episode, I'm not leaving without a fight. With that been aside, I'll see you nerds next time, where I talk about how Blitz and Stolas are fucking their show whilst fucking each other. Maybe.